welcome to Mallet and Michelle on Dripping Springs.
Well, hello, Michelle. How you doing?
Hello, 100th episode.
100 episodes.
100.
I never imagined we'd get here.
No, I haven't either, and I still can't imagine that we're...
It's been a whirlwind, hasn't it?
It's been so much fun. It has. I've learned so much about you.
I've learned a lot about you. And weirdly enough, I've learned some things about myself that I didn't know.
Yeah, well, probably from me.
That's probably true. Yeah.
You know, I think it's funny, the criticisms or the accolades that we get from family and friends versus the general public. Like, it is still kind of off-putting, I guess is the word, when somebody that we don't really know comes and repeats something that you and I have said to each other. And I'm like, they listen.
It's kind of weird, isn't it?
They listen to us. But then our family and friends, you know, they'll say, I interrupt you too much, you interrupt me too much, you know, that kind of thing. But
it's a conversation, though. I mean, that's how conversations go. Yeah. I mean, we don't structure it. We have notes, but they're very loosely followed.
Do people think I'm mean to you?
Yes.
You're welcome.
Does that surprise you?
You're welcome. It's my love language. Honestly, it is. If I'm really super nice to you and,
watch out.
Yeah.
Watch out.
If I don't tease you, teasing is my love language.
I know. What do you think's the thing, what have you learned and what do you think's is the thing you've enjoyed the most about this?
What have I learned? I've learned that, I'm going to be real honest here for a second. Like, to listen to myself, I can really see my dyslexia audibly.
It's probably been good, though, because now you're more aware of it. I mean, it might make you more self-conscious, but it makes you more aware of it.
It did at the very beginning. I don't know if you remember, at the very beginning, it really, really did. And, you know, you kind of make fun of me the way I tell a story sometimes. You know, I kind of go up and around and squirrel it a little bit. But whatever, that's part of the fun. It's the journey, not the destination.
That's right. For you, it definitely is. For me, the notoriety has been a little unsettling. Like,
in your own head?
Yeah, I'm famous in my own head. No, like having somebody come up that I don't know very well and go, "Hey, man, that episode last week was really good. I like when you were talking about and they know way more about us than we know about them, and that's a little unsettling. Because in a normal relationship, you get to know each other over time, and there's things you can compare and talk about. But they'll come up to me, and maybe I've met them once or twice, and they start talking about, you know, our families and things we've done and the trips and stuff we've talked about. 100 episodes is 100 and something hours of content.
Well, inherently, I am an oversharer. And so for me, what you see is what you get. Like, I am the same person on air, off the air.
That is so true, Michelle. You are exactly the same person sitting here in front of this mic that you are in the office over there.
So sorry.
No,
so sorry.
It's been fun. I think the chemistry that you and I have is really good and actually very rare. And this is, you have worked with me for 10 years.
Wow.
And this conversation we're having is the same kind of conversation you and I have had since, it probably took you about 6 months to start loosening up. But you and I have these kind of conversations every day.
Every single day. And you know what? I hope that what the majority of people get out of this is that you and I really do enjoy having fun, and more than anything. But also, to your credit, you're really good at what you do. And I have said this time and time again, your profession, the fact that, you know, we're podcast hosts, but you're a real estate professional and you are known throughout this community as kind of the go-to guy. And that is really cool because, you know, we got this like little jarring back and forth, blah, blah, blah. But I hope above all of that, the professionalism and everything is that deep rooted. It comes across that we love our family, our spouses, and we really care for each other. Yep. And, you know, to have that type of friendship on and off the air, it's genuine, right? And the teasing that I I do with you and the teasing you do with me, it's good fun.
I can tell you that there's a lot of people that probably don't have near as thick skin as me, and it probably hurts their feelings sometimes, but it never bothers me because I know how it goes.
Well, I do know that you go in your office and cry.
I do sometimes do that.
So, okay.
Well, congratulations to you for episode 100.
Congratulations to you, Mallet.
Yeah.
And
Who's
Michelle.
our guest today?
Our guest is Eustacio, Laura. He is with Deep Eddy Vodka. Deep Eddy Vodka. I'm very excited to have him on. I have begged him for like a year to get him on, and it's just been a scheduling conflict. So I'm very excited to have him on.
I realized.
I hope he brings a sample.
Yeah, I bet he does. I realized when you brought him on, everybody knows probably I don't drink. And I know nothing about vodka. I think it's made from potatoes, but I don't know that for sure.
Well, I can give you just a little history. This vodka is it's either made from potatoes, corn, or believe it or not, grape.
Okay.
Grapes. Yeah.
Really?
Vodka was invented in either the 8th or the 9th century, like Poland or Russia, but who knows because they were all too drunk to tell. But vodka actually is gluten-free. Due to the distillation process.
Oh, yeah, don't tell too many people that.
Yeah, it is.
I'm on a health diet. I drink vodka.
Well, funny you should say that. If you drink vodka, you can skip mouthwash because Listerine, for example, is made of 20% alcohol, and vodka is also an antiseptic.
That sounds like somebody trying to validate their alcoholism.
So I know that no. There's no denying that drinking in excess, obviously, is unhealthy, right? But there are in moderation. Studies have shown there are some health benefits. It can reduce your cholesterol. It can alleviate symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis. It can reduce your risk for stroke or blood clots. Or it can even increase your lifespan with all of this.
And it can cause liver failure.
No, that's in moderation. That's excess,
I know.
Smart ass. But for me, it makes me go on adventures. It's created lifelong friendships of women that I've met in restrooms.
As you hold their hair.
Yes, and no. We're just like in women's bathrooms are a whole different world. It's like a time warp. Okay, it's like Narnia's closet because you walk in and you build. You don't know. Men, when you go into restrooms, you don't look at each other.
We look at the wall. We look right straight ahead. We wash our hands. We walk out. It's weird because it's like almost like a force field. You walk out the door and you can start being friendly again. You walk in the door, that's it. Nobody talks to each other. Nobody looks at each other. Oh,
I've been invited to people's weddings. I'm Facebook friends with people I've only met in the restroom. So, whatever. But more than general, it just... In general, it makes me 10 feet tall and bulletproof sometime when I've had excess, but I'm a talkative, yacky, blah, 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 overshare person sober. Can you only imagine when I've had one or two?
On alcohol.
Absolutely. Yeah. But so I'm looking forward to having him here, and again,
he seems like a really interesting guy.
He's a sweet kiddo. He's a real sweet guy, and I'm looking forward to getting to know him because he's an RGV boy too.
Rio Grande Valley.
Rio Grande Valley.
I got a couple things. We had the Run by the Creek this past weekend.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Year 12 that we've put that on. And it was a really good turnout. It wasn't our biggest ever turnout. It was close, but we had such a great time. And to see this community turn out for something like that, and the smiles and the high fives, and at the end of this race, it was a little different than previous years. I think it was evidence to me that COVID's finally gone because there was a group standing at the finish line, a lot of kids, high school, middle school kids, some adults, and they were high-fiving people coming in and clapping and cheering, and people were jumping across the finish line. And the 6 people that help that we all put it on, that we all said after that it reminds those people smiling like that reminds us why we spend 6-8 months putting this thing on, because it's to see friends we don't see but maybe once a year out there it's just really a great time. So thanks everybody for showing up.
I'm very proud of you for that, and it made me think of the New York City Marathon.
Well, that's 50,000 runners, yeah.
But the best part of the New York City Marathon were the signs that were coming out of it. And people, I guess, hold signs on the side. And so one of them is, slow down, I'm trying to count everyone. Congrats on not pooping your pants. I've been training for months to hold this sign. I don't see the one that I run like you stole something. Bagels are stupid. One of the favorite ones, I don't see it on here that I'm reading, but it said, you trained for months for this, and I Ozempic.
I've never done the New York Marathon. I would like to do it. It's actually pretty hard to get in. I can't believe
you haven't, New York or Boston.
It's hard to get in now. You have to qualify for it. Or
without cheating.
Yeah, I do feel like that's cheating. There is a way to get in if you do it's put on by a certain running group. If you do like 10 of their races and volunteer at one of their races, they will allow you to enter. But so it starts on the Verrazano Bridge, and the Verrazano Bridge has 2 levels, an upper and a lower level. And you really want to avoid starting on the lower level because you stand at the start line and the race starts going across the bridge. And the people on the upper deck have to go pee, and so they pee off the side of the bridge. And if you're running on the deck below and it's a little bit windy, you get peed on all over you. So there's a little tip. There's a little running tip for you if you're going to do the New York Marathon.
Another reason for Michelle, I'm going to put that on Michelle, reasons why Michelle does not run the New York Marathon.
So there's a good segue.
Okay.
So I got this news article from ATX today, that the city of Austin has a serious lack of public restrooms in downtown Austin.
I thought everything was a public restroom in downtown.
That's exactly what I thought. It's like every street corner is a public restroom down there. So they have just installed 3 modular standalone free toilets that are
like in Europe.
Well, maybe. They're a cross between a traditional public restroom and a porta potty, and guess what they're called?
Huh.
I thought it was a joke, but they're called the Portland Loo.
Oh, so I saw one in Amsterdam where you go, it's like looks like a snail that you'd walk in.
Oh, yeah.
And you'd go pee, and then it drops down underground, and all these sprays. Sprays come out, and then.
Oh, this is not like that. This is.
This is going to be a cracked in, 100%.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, this is a cracked in.
So this news article says each bathroom can be solar powered, making it good for the earth. It's like, oh, please, just stop. It's a freaking porta potty on stilts here.
Yeah, no, absolutely no.
Yeah.
Hey, Steve, really quick, we forgot to thank our sponsors, Capital Farm Credit and M. Elliott, but I also wanted to just kind of shout out a little bit to Pig Pen. We are doing a new partnership with them. And you guys sit there and have your barbecue, and you're going to be able to point your phone and a QR code. Don't do it now because I haven't completed the artwork. She hasn't
done it yet.
I haven't completed the artwork, but you'll be able to pull up one of our episodes on there.
That'd be great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'd love some feedback once you guys start getting it. If you guys are having a hard time because of this is a what are we calling this? A test to see if the napkin holders are dark.
As long as we've done this, we still get. We'll tell people and they go, well, how do I listen to it? It's like, you can listen to it on any place you can get podcasts. This show is available, but sometimes people just have a hard time figuring out how to get it
just a little bit. But thank you so much to Bill and Michelle for giving us that opportunity. We really appreciate it. Hey, I wanted to also mention Logan Papp, our past guest.
Yeah.
Sadly, Logan did not win the Texas Country Music Association's Young Music Artist of the Year. But Logan, if you're listening out there, the best is yet to come, young man. You have big things in your
You're very,
plan.
very talented, and we know you're going to do big things.
Absolutely. So we're very proud of you.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Yep, keep going. Don't give up. Perseverance.
Hey,
what do you want for Christmas, Michelle?
I'm going to go to Christmas on Mercer December 2nd, which is also my birthday, and I'm going to go walk up and down. You know what I want for Christmas? Whatever I want, I buy it.
You're like me. Holly says that about me all the time. She's like, you're so hard to buy for. If you want something, you just go ahead and buy it.
Well, yeah, because Todd is awful at buying gifts.
Why is that?
I don't know. He locks onto something. Okay, one year, I liked angels back in the early 90s, late 90s. I liked angels. Therefore, every gift I got angels. Gaudy angels. all the angels that you could get. And so I got this. He got me this mirror that he probably paid $300 for, and it was the ugliest thing I'd ever
Had
seen.
angels all over it?
Angels. It was like terracotta angel hell. And I was like... So
I think we did that with my mom when I was little. My mom had like 2 elephants, little statues she had gotten in Morocco or something. And my sister and I decided she liked elephants. So every year for like 10 years for her birthday and Christmas, we got her little elephants.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have any of them up in her house as far as I can tell right now. But the reason I ask you, I do want to shout out to my wife, Holly. Holly is the opposite of Todd. She's the best gift giver in the world. In that she listens all year long to
That's
things.
what I do.
Yeah. And you do that.
It's the female.
Yeah. She listens and she'll say, oh, I heard him. Like a couple years ago, I was complaining about my earpods. The batteries are failing, and I'm going to have to get some new ones. And she got me AirPods. So she's really good. So
it's the female
I need to
gene.
be better about
it. No, you're not going to be better. You're just not. Just accept defeat.
Just accept it's not in my genes.
Just accept defeat.
The reason I asked you about Christmas was this is the time of year that Amazon releases Oprah's favorite Christmas gifts.
Oh, the most narcissistic woman in media.
Yes, and if you look at this list on Amazon, it is over the top. I'm going to go through just a couple. The first one is the Meta Quest headset, which I didn't think anybody was buying those.
No, and who paid her to say that?
Yeah, that was, as I go through this, I was thinking, man, a lot of this does not seem like Oprah. Yeah. How about I'm Dead, Now What, which is a book. I'm not even sure what that looks like, a journal. Build a Life You Want. Like, okay, Oprah, thank you very much. A Telfar shopping bag for $202. It looks like a plastic shopping bag.
Todd, if you're listening, I want a towel warmer. And
a towel warmer?
I want a Japanese toilet, too.
Oh, like a bidet type toilet? Holly wants one of those.
South Park had this whole episode on a Japanese toilet, but it's like $10,000.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Kim Burke has one. Yep. I think it's only like $2,000. So when I got down to page 3 on this, I knew this was not a list that actually came from Oprah, because on it is a Chance Premium Design basketball. And I know Oprah is not playing no basketball. I'm
not. Okay.
Yeah.
Basketball?
Basketball. It's a pink basketball with flowers on it.
What else is on that list?
There's a $550 DeLonghi True Brew drip coffee maker, which I guess is better than...
What is that hair thing right there?
This one? Mm-hmm. A Grace and Company shower cap for $28.
Oh, okay. I can go to Ross and get it for $5.99.
Yes, you can. Maybe less. There's a couple more... A Fellow Stag EKG Pro Electric Kettle for $200.
Oh, I could get an EKG?
Yeah, you can get an EKG. And then I thought, okay, maybe this one did come from Oprah. The Polar Bear Vesta Chocolate Limited Edition for $69. They look like little bonbons or something.
Oh, well, that's pretty funny.
If you're scratching at the bottom of the barrel for gifts, look at Oprah's list and you won't find anything that'll work for you. Here's one else. Another one. Spanx half zip pullover and wide leg pant for $138. Okay, so that probably is Oprah. You know
what? My daughter just she came to visit me this weekend. And where did she go? She goes to the Domain, to the SKIMS opening. Do you know what SKIMS is?
Is that like Spanx?
It's Kim Kardashian's version of Spanx. And there was a line out the door and she came home she came to visit me and she goes to the SKIMS store.
Okay, if you have 5-year-old kids listening, you might want to not play. Are those the ones that have the fake nipples?
Yes.
I saw that on Instagram and I thought, that can't be real. That can't be real.
It is. It's totally true. It's totally true.
Oh, what the hell is going on in the world, Michelle?
This just went off. What if you were born nippleless and you needed some...
I feel like that is Speedo selling a swimsuit with a sock sewn in it.
I just spit all over the mmicrophone. Okay, well,
do you have another story?
I do.
Okay, you do your story.
I'll save you. Okay, so Belterra neighborhood is having a spoof problem.
Okay.
Yeah, the HOA sent out a notice saying it's come to their attention that they're getting these fake letters out. They did not originate from the Belterra HOA, but these are pretty funny. And it says, so it's on the Belterra letterhead. Apparently, it's the old letterhead. But it's being sent to certain neighbors. Okay. We kindly ask that you take down all Christmas-related yard decorations as soon as possible. The Belterra neighborhood policy clearly states no outside Christmas decorations will be permitted between the dates of blah, 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 blah. And if you do not comply by November 12th, we will be forced to take them down for you. They will be disposed of in the neighborhood dumpster immediately. Additionally, you will be publicly shamed on the Belterra Neighbors Facebook page and delivered a lump of coal on Christmas Day. Thank you for advance for your cooperation. Sincerely, Belterra HOA.
Who would... So people are getting these in the mail?
Yes, they're pretty. They did one for Halloween too. That was pretty funny, but I don't know.
Why? What do you think's the motivation there?
I don't know. I just think maybe it's some jokester. I don't think there's any malicious intent. I think it's kind of funny, but
it is funny. But I don't. Maybe they're hoping people will post that on Facebook. What is the end game of that?
I don't know. Maybe it's just to be funny, and they want to know who did it. And so the HOA basically said, if you know anybody who did this, but my favorite part about their response, the Belterra Community Association would never, ever, under any circumstances, public shame anyone on social media or otherwise. And so
the HOA's hired a forensic specialist to find out who is sending these nasty letters. I
wonder how much that HOA is now getting charged by their management company to go after the culprit.
The culprit.
It's his. I know who it is. He's a mean one.
Mr. Grinch.
That's it. Let's get Eustacio Lara in here.
Yes, let's take a little break and get Eustacio in here. Hang on just a second. Proudly sponsored by...
At Capital Farm Credit, they understand that owning land is more than just a transaction. It's a legacy, a future, and a place to call your own.
For generations, Capital Farm Credit has been the trusted lending partner for land loans, farmers, ranchers, and rural dreamers just like you.
Their personalized loan solutions cater to your unique needs, making the journey to land ownership smoother than ever.
Capital Farm Credit, your land, your legacy. Visit CapitalFarmCredit.com or Mark Rutledge at 512-892-4425.
Capital Farm Credit, an equal credit housing lender.
Interior design should be an investment in your life and home. Let M. Elliott Studio transform your space, where interior design meets excellence in Central Texas.
Beyond just selecting colors and furnishings, team principal and owner, Montana Elliott, is a trained and licensed interior designer.
With her knowledge of architectural principles, building codes, space planning, and design theory, her team will work with you to understand your needs and lifestyle.
From concept to completion, M. Elliott Studio is committed to enhancing your space with a timeless and classic style.
Ready to redefine your space?
melliottstudio.com, 512-781-0224.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the Mallet Integrity Team of real estate professionals. They are based in Dripping Springs and bring you over 45 years of combined experience helping people reach their hill country real estate dreams. When you want the best in town, call them at 512-829-2062 or look them up at malletintegrityteam.com. And now, here's Steve and Michelle.
Welcome back. We are here with Eustacio Lara. He is the sales and marketing manager for the tasting room. Deep Eddy Vodka here.
Hi.
Welcome
to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Are you nervous?
Very.
Oh, you don't need to be nervous.
Had way too much coffee this morning.
Oh, jeez. Michelle will make fun of you a little bit. You'll just calm right down.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Just shake the nerves out. Yeah. Shake the nerves out. How did you end up here in Podunk, Little Dripping Springs?
Yeah, that's how much time do we have?
We've got a lot of time.
As much as you need.
So you're originally a Rio Grande Valley boy, right?
I am, yeah.
And Couch Elsa, which a lot of people don't know where that is. I happen to know where that is. I happen to know where that is since I'm a Weslaco girl. So tell me, you grew up down in the valley?
I did. I was actually born in Austin and we moved to the valley when I was a few months old. My dad's family is down there. Mm-hmm. So I grew up there.
Where'd you go to high school?
At Couch Elsa High School. Yeah.
How far is that from where you grew up?
Like a hop, skip, and a tamale shell away. Did you know that whatever happens now, this recording is going to come out right after Thanksgiving. So whenever this is out, it's already going to happen. But that Weslaco and Dripping Springs potentially are going to be playing in the Alamo Dome.
Are you serious?
Yes. I'm so
For the
excited.
playoffs?
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Wow.
So by the time this comes out, it's either happened or didn't happen. It depends on what happens at this Friday's game.
Wow.
So I know, isn't that cool?
That is exciting. Which one? Weslaco High?
Weslaco High. Yeah, I guess there's 2 of them now, isn't there?
I believe there's 3.
Wow. I can't believe that, little Weslaco, Texas.
Yeah, there was 2 when I graduated, and I believe they've added another one.
What is your most fondest memory of the Valley? Because I have so many of them, but
Football. The football games.
it's huge.
Did you play football?
I did not.
Okay.
I know I'd look like I'd be awesome at it. But no, I was in the marching band.
Oh,
So,
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
my son was in the marching band. He loved it.
It's the best memories.
Yeah,
that
what'd you
I've
play?
had. Saxophone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I when my son first told me he was going to do marching band, I was like, because he was a soccer player, I was like, oh man, marching band. And then I went and watched a practice, and I was like, geez, man, these
it's
guys,
tough.
yeah, it's tough.
It's tough.
Yeah, they really work them out. And at the end, they were doing laps and so, I mean, it's a lot of work.
My favorite is the bribery with water. Get it right, or
If you get this right,
gonna
you can take a break.
dehydrate.
That's a little torturous.
Yeah.
Right there, for sure. So,
Oh, go ahead.
so you went to UT right after that then, right?
I did. Yes, I moved up in 2012. Attended UT here in Austin.
Were you in the marching band in UT?
No. I epically failed my audition, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Is it tough to get in a UT marching band?
Well, to get into the music school. So I originally applied to UT to go to
Okay.
the music school.
Uh-huh.
And I was a very, played myself up a lot in high school, I guess. So I didn't practice at all.
Oh, you little cocky
cocky,
there. Huh?
little
Yeah, you were a little cocky and didn't get in. And so swore myself off music for a while. I was a little bitter. But
What did you end up studying?
history and government.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I saw that you're a political science and history nerd.
I
You love that.
am. Yeah, the political science was I added that late because I was on the teacher track. So I did teach for a few years and kind of was wondering if it was actually for me. So I was like, well, maybe I'll put a pause on that and add in political science. So I finished off that major.
Do you still play the sax ever?
I actually just sent it to my cousin.
Man.
He's in high school. He's a senior, and he was saying he wants to play alto sax for jazz band. And I was like, well, actually,
Here you go.
here you go.
There you go.
It's just sitting there collecting dust. So
Number one cousin
Keep it in the
status.
family.
Yeah.
I want to go back to your political. So you got a degree in political science and history.
mm-hmm.
So we're just going to dive right into it. How do you think we're doing as a country right now?
So no F word, remember? Beep.
woof is my
Yeah.
word. Yeah, it's crazy times. And I just think the more we forget to talk on how to talk to each other,
I agree.
respect is a really big one.
And history. The more we forget or try to erase history,
I
we're
was just going to say that. So you're a history buff, and it just seems to me like we're making a lot of the same mistakes that people have made throughout history. It's like, do we not ever learn?
Absolutely. And that was actually one of the things that turned me off of teaching is I interned at O. Henry Middle School, and it was a great experience, but really understanding how the cadence works. And I'm like, I don't agree with spending like a whole week on Lewis and Clark, but one day on women's suffrage or something.
Oh, yeah.
So it was
That's a good
a
point,
really
Eustacio.
eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
it was great, except for the kids. No.
And the administration.
There's especially, Austin's such a big school district.
Yeah.
They got a really tough job over there, but yeah, I think it's a tough time.
Where do you get your news from now? Like, I mean, or do you kind of outsource it? Because
everywhere.
I know you kind of have
get it
to,
from
right?
multiple sources.
Yeah, everywhere. I always try and watch a mixture of the major networks, ABC, CBS, NBC. On top of Fox, you have to listen, to Fox and YouTube, actually, there's a lot of news networks popping up all over YouTube, and just sprinkling some of those in every now and then. And
What about TikTok?
oh, TikTok. It's great for snippets. I will say, in my scrolling, I'll get a couple just kind of snippets and
then follow up.
Perks my ears up, and
And
I'll
you
follow
go
up.
do some research.
Yeah, like my Google Chrome app has at least 10 tabs open at all times.
Oh, really?
Because I'll just go in, type it, search it, and then come back to it when I just have downtime, and I'll read more about it.
You got to do your due diligence in that.
Michelle
just have
sometimes
to.
shows me stuff on TikTok and sometimes on Instagram, and I'll go, that cannot be real. That cannot be right. But it is hard sometimes to verify or disprove some of that stuff. Yeah.
There was one time we had a podcast, and I totally ran with this story and told him 3 different stories, and just
Was something about Al Gore and
I can't.
Al Gore finally said that global warming was a scam.
Yeah, it was a scam, and there was 2 other ones.
And
but
I'm sitting here going, no, real? Oh my God! Oh wow! And then at the end, she said, no, it's all made up.
yeah, I lied. I mean, it's like if you say it with authority and you say you know what it is, and I think that's kind of what's going on right now.
Yeah, and at this point, that could be anyone, everyone.
I know.
And
Everybody's got a platform now.
everyone's got a platform, and they
Social
don't.
media influencer.
Right, and the social media companies do such a great job at funneling it to the right person.
The algorithms.
Right, those algorithms.
But then real dissenting voices are silenced. That's what worries me. If there's something out there that they don't like, they take that stuff down. Like, I was listening to Joe Rogan this morning, and he had on this female comedian. I can't remember her name, but she was talking about this is not serious. There's a story going around that some of the older cartoon drawers from Disney secretly put phallic symbols. Have you heard that?
No.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there are images like that Disney has created, and they look like penises.
I just want to let you know, this is the second conversation on this podcast that Steve and I have had about body parts.
But okay, let me finish my story. So this comedian was posting stuff on YouTube about this thing, and she was showing pictures, and there's like pictures of Minnie Mouse, and you can research yourself. YouTube took down all her videos about something just really simple like that.
It's wild. Oh my goodness. I will never be able to see that again.
That was Minnie and Mickey.
Oh my goodness.
I just pulled some stuff up on the screen, so just saying, yeah.
Look for the marshmallow cannon. See if that one comes up. Oh my gosh, you didn't know what you were in for when you signed up for this, did you, Eustacio? Oh, look, maybe it's going to. Disney marshmallow cannon.
Disney. Okay. Well, sorry, listeners.
No. Well, let's see if we can find generating.
Oh, no.
It's not going to do it.
It's not going to.
It's probably. I wonder if maybe they've taken them all
I have
down.
parental controls on my Google I have to protect myself from me. But yeah, you didn't know what you were going to say.
That was a rabbit hole, wasn't it?
But it's a perfect example, though. Like, Disney owns everything.
Everything.
Isn't that the truth?
Everything.
Everything.
You know, it only takes a phone call from somebody way high up there for this stuff to be squashed.
Well, I get crap, from friends. My son's in the military, and for a long time, I'm in the Coast Guard Auxiliary. Was like, you're not allowed to have TikTok, blah blah blah. Finally, I caved, and friends are like, "Oh, China's listening to everybody." There's a reason why the CIA agents and FBI agents cannot take their phone into the building. They have to leave it out. So China's listening right now. Hello, China.
So, Eustacio, do you as the sales and marketing manager for Deep Eddy, do you do a lot of their social media?
I do the social media for the tasting room.
For the tasting room.
Yeah. Yeah. So my job is to kind of be the liaison between the brand team who does, the website and the national accounts, and just kind of meld that into the voice of the tasting room.
Okay.
So that way there's a little bit of continuity.
Yeah.
Why does the tasting room close at, is it 5, 6 o'clock?
Yeah.
Why? Give me the logic. I've heard it before, but I need to hear it again.
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, in the kind of origin story of the brand, we're named after the Deep Eddy pool.
Yes.
Oldest public swimming pool in Texas. And so the idea was day drinking by the pool. So it would kind of fit the brand
okay.
to be a day drinking tasting room.
But sometimes I want to after work drinking.
I want you to have an after work. That'd definitely make my job a lot easier. But
TABC?
No, the wedding capital of Texas. You know, we do a lot of private events, and those private events
take up
a lot of that kind of evening
stupid
time.
weddings.
Yeah, but we're working on it. We're chipping away. Thursdays now we're up until 7.
Ooh,
Fridays.
Okay.
We finally brought that back this week. We'll be open until 7. So now it's just Saturdays and Sundays. We still close at 5.
Okay. I'll forgive you for that.
Give us the sort of Cliff Notes version of the history of Deep Eddy Vodka.
Okay, fun. So we were actually founded by 2 UT grads, Clayton Christopher and Chad Aller.
Okay.
Chad Aller comes from Fall Creek Vineyards. His family owns and operates that vineyard. And he had started what was then called Savvy Vodka. And Clayton Christopher had just sold his company called Sweet Leaf Tea to Nestle. And this was around the time of very Firefly, the sweet tea vodka.
Okay.
And they had a mutual friend that was just like, hey, you know the tea business. Hey, you own a vodka company. Why don't you all just kind of get together? And Deep Eddy was born with a Deep Eddy sweet tea. That was our first flavor.
They're kind of the godfathers of craft vodka.
Okay.
Deep Eddy is. And now they were known, or I'm sure they're still known for like small batches of all natural flavors. I know way too much about Deep Eddy because it's one of my favorite vodkas. My favorite is Ruby Red, which I lovingly refer to as Roofie Red. That's my nickname for it. But now they're owned by a Kentucky bourbon brand, which is known for Elijah Gregg and Evan.
The 2 guys sold out the company.
In 2015, they sold Deep Eddy to Heaven Hill Brands,
Okay.
Which in its own right is still family owned. We are the largest family owned distillery in the country. And last I checked, we were 4th largest in the country overall.
Wow. Of all vodkas?
Overall distilleries like in the country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And they were like the fastest growing spirits brand in America when it launched, right?
Deep Eddy?
Yeah, Deep Eddy.
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, that's what I was reading. A lot of
it.
Yeah, they were the fastest growing. It just kind of took off.
It's interesting because we've had other people on here from alcohol companies, and it's very marketing focused and sometimes not so much about the product, but it seems like Deep Eddy is
the vintage
focused, the marketing, but also very focused on having a good product.
Yeah, and that's 100% due to Clayton Christopher, because that was kind of the philosophy when he created Sweet Leaf Tea, was to rival someone like Snapple. Being real and using real ingredients. Like all of our flavors use the same concept, and that is the original vodka as its base. You add juice concentrate to it. Pure cane sugar, and that's pretty much it. You know, it's a very simple recipe, and it allows really the fruit or whatever the flavor is to really kind of come forward.
And where that lower tasting room is, that used to be where the bottling used to happen. I remember going right when you guys first opened. Was there
distilling there or just bottling? There was
distilling. Okay. That was the full-on Deep Eddy vodka distillery back then.
And it's distilled something, what was it, 10, 11?
10 times.
A lot of times?
Yeah, through our column still. It's actually probably more at this point, but we kind of stick with 10. That's a good number. And it's through our column still, which at the time of its founding, Deep Eddy, was a fairly revolutionary concept. Everyone wasn't at this point still does pot stills.
Okay.
You know, pot still is the traditional form to distill spirit, and column distillation allows us to cook it at a temperature that is able to kind of burn off all of the impurities. Like kind of gives alcohol its bite.
Okay.
So it's as tasteless and odorless as possible. So when you add the juice, you get juice and not.
That sounds dangerous.
Vodka.
It is. That's why I call it Roofie Red.
Yeah.
But you know what I really had an affinity for Deep Eddy was their ability to give back to the community. And I really started seeing that during COVID when people couldn't find hand sanitizers or masks and whatever. And I remember going over there and they gave me a I don't even remember who it was, but I told him that my son was in the Coast Guard and he was in Puerto Rico and they didn't have anything. They gave me a whole bunch of handkerchiefs and just like wonderful hand sanitizer that smelled like straight vodka. They were just handing this stuff out. And so can you talk a little bit about how Deep Eddy gives back to the community?
Yeah, we are extremely community focused, whether it's here in Dripping Springs or in Austin or Heaven Hill as a national company. One of my main tasks when they hired me was get out in that community
and recognize the needs.
Recognize the needs, and let's start building the roots.
Michelle's pool party, for instance.
Yeah, and it's a real pleasure to be able to feel the support from the brand to really just kind of go out there and find the need. And
you guys are hosting the chamber events also.
We do. Yeah.
And so with that, you personally, outside of Deep Eddy, because Deep Eddy is not forcing you to do this, this is on your own personal time, you have really ingrained yourself into the Dripping Springs Chamber, and you're now running for the board.
I am. Yes.
Tell me about that.
Yes. Dripping Springs is just so reminiscent of the Valley to me. It still has that small town feel. And that was the one thing I missed so much when I moved away that I didn't know I was going to miss. And that was that sense of community. And so when I started here, they just kind of embraced me. And so I, with Deep Eddy, was able to embrace them back.
That's great. So do you live in Dripping Springs?
I do not.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
You live in Austin?
He might as well because he's here almost every day.
Yeah. But I know you're a big part of the community. And you were talking about the hand sanitizers. You guys gave away a ton of hand sanitizer back when, because at the time COVID first hit, it was really hard to find. People may not remember that. It was very hard to find.
By the barrel, we were.
Really?
Yeah. So at that time, I was still working for the University of Texas.
Okay. And
we needed hand sanitizer for the football games.
Okay.
And I was the one in the truck that picked up 3 barrels of sanitizer.
Wow. Wow.
That's just pure sanitizer.
So you graduated from UT and then you were heading up the catering for the UT Austin Athletics?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
I went and worked for the company's called Sodexo, and that has a funny story to it. So the catering director then, 20 years earlier, maybe less, had hired my mom
wow.
as the catering supervisor at UT, what is now UT-RGV, what was then UT Pan American. Because Sodexo was
That's
down
where
there.
My parents went, was Pan Am.
My aunt went there, yeah.
Oh, really?
My sister goes there now too, yeah. And so just small world, I had met him when I was a child.
Oh, wow.
And just all grown up now, full circle, he and the catering manager, Michelle, hired me to be a catering supervisor.
That's really
exact same role as my mom.
So what made you take that jump over to Deep Eddy? Was it something that you actively seeked out, or did they seek you? How did that happen? Or did you just pass out in the tasting room one day and they're like, "Hey, get rid of him"?
Might as well hire the guy. He won't go home.
Yeah, he just won't leave. No, actually, so my then boss, Michelle Yansky, she was the catering director at the time, and I was a catering manager. Deep Eddy hired her to be the GM of the tasting room, and she needed an operations person. So she reached out to me. She took me. And all of that happened because Deep Eddy then was a sponsor of UT Athletics.
Oh, okay.
They were one of the first spirits sponsors in collegiate sports. And so we got real close with the Deep Eddy team. And, with their signature just personality and kind of relationship building. And COVID happened, new team, new refresh, and they reached out to Michelle and then tugged me along. So
what do you like best about working there? What is like your favorite thing about working at Deep Eddy?
This, yeah.
Me, me.
Handing out free alcohol.
Yeah, just the liberty that they give to, yes, go out there and build the relationships, engage with the community. The community will follow. That'll translate in a few years. This is where it is. And just being with a company that really understands that and appreciates that and allows me to do this is just amazing.
Probably doesn't feel like work some days, does it?
No,
I get to go hang out with people and shake hands and tell stories and just have fun.
Yeah, it's really hard to explain to my husband sometimes because I was like, I have a mixer at
Sorry.
Camp
Gonna
David.
drink at the mixer. Gonna go have lunch. Have some good drink at lunch. Yeah.
You know, I want to bring something up a little bit controversial because you wrote it in your bio, but then in also Deep Eddy kind of had some controversy surrounding with drag time story hour and things like that.
Yeah,
and I think they really took, I guess they listened to their community, right? And still while staying true to their brand,
Right.
they listened to their community and what Dripping Springs either wanted or didn't want.
Tell us about that. I don't know about this story.
Yeah, it was early days. It was, we were just a few months in. So, gauging the temperature of Dripping Springs was definitely a learning curve. Considering I had lived in Austin for all those years. And, it was a
hot button topic.
It was a hot button topic, to say the least. But that listening thing, that comes into play.
Yeah.
Listening, taking stock, taking a step back.
Know your community.
And knowing the community and knowing...
they're a national brand, right? So you give credence to that, but you are community based. You're very ingrained in
100%. And I will say, like, the drag story hour and the holiday stuff, that was very much like, local. That was, me and my boss, my then boss, Michelle. And we've definitely found our lane and our groove.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like that was a mistake, or do you feel like it was just a learning?
Maybe a learning curve.
I think it was more of a learning curve.
Yeah.
I think it was more of a learning curve because we definitely continued our drag shows for, I think, another year and a half after that.
Okay.
And it's, just really kind of more of a learning curve situation because coming fresh off of, universities and that sort of everything's off limits, you know.
Yeah. Or on limits.
Or
maybe
That's
the case.
That's on track.
Yeah, and just kind of not hiding behind that kind of national brand to be like, I don't care, I'm just going to continue to push on.
I think it really would have
listening.
hurt the brand here in Dripping Springs, and the fact that I mentioned earlier that you guys are so kind of ingrained, you personally, in the chamber and in the community, and you don't live here, but you might as well live here. I mean, come on, we know some real estate agents that we can find you a property here.
Find you a house.
But I want to get a little sappy, a little deeper, right? And you mentioned that your husband, and you mentioned most recently that you got married to your husband when you were 21, and you did not tell your family for 6 years.
I did not, and more props to my sister for not spilling the beans.
So
6 years she kept it a
when
secret.
you say your family, are you saying your mother? You didn't
Everyone.
Did your mother take her chancla off and beat you around the house?
She was fairly upset.
When you told her that she was very upset?
Yeah, she was, I think because it's a novel idea. I'm marrying a man, and it's a genuine marriage.
Hispanic. You also have to understand, especially
Hispanic
RG. It's the
families,
Hispanic community. It's the Hispanic family. Very, very traditionalist.
Is that changing though, Eustacio?
It is 100%. And she wasn't upset by the fact that I was marrying a man. It was more just like
you kept something.
You kept a secret
big.
for so long. Because by the time
that's what I would be.
Yeah. And by the time I told her, it was like 3 years. I had been married for 3 years.
Your mother actually called me before this, and she told me to hit you with my shoe before you left. So
I would believe it.
Why do you think that you did that? Why did you?
Partly,
do you feel she wasn't ready? Maybe. Or?
No. This one, it was more my husband. He's less. Like I was raised by my whole family. Like I am a product of everyone. So my viewpoint is I don't care if I have to go through the hassle of planning a 100-person wedding. Like I'm going to do it. He's very much the opposite. He's very much like, we don't need all the
quiet,
the fuss.
reserved,
very quiet, very reserved, very drama averse. Like he does not like, so it was very much just kind of, well, my sister's in Austin. She's, she's my ride or die. Like she is my closest person. His best friend lived with us. So why not?
Yeah.
So we just went down to the courtroom. My sister was there. His best friend was there. We went to Cheesecake Factory after, and then we both went to work, and that was that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how is the family now? How's Thanksgiving going to be?
And your family's obviously met your husband then.
Some of them. My mom's side of the family less so than my dad's side. But he likes quiet.
He likes his privacy.
Okay.
He likes quiet.
He likes peace.
Does he know
I am
who
very
he
much
married?
not so.
I was like,
Yeah.
does he know who he married?
I am very much not so, but I'm about all he can handle. So he pops it in every now and then.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's like, can I not? I'm like,
It's
fine.
funny is because I am Huerita Barbie, but I'm a Valley girl through and through, and so my upbringing was a little, Caucasian Hispanic, and the way I raised my children was very kind of in a hybrid way, I would say. But I totally understand that. I totally get that. But family is life, and
it's life.
You can tell it's very important to you. Family's very important to you.
Very, very important. It is. It was interesting. It's I like my grandma and grandpa. I don't think know. And that's more for, just
cultural
obvious reasons.
and age and
he's my friend, and then they'll ask about him, and that is probably about as good as I'm gonna get, and I'm okay with that.
I'd love to know what they say when you guys are gone. I'll bet you they go, he thinks we don't know that they're married.
Oh yeah,
what is up with that?
100%.
Yeah,
100%. Because they'll see us together, and then my grandma's eyes just start to like well up, and it's again more just like. She knows I'm happy, and she knows I'm grown up.
Yeah. You are just a kind, good-hearted person, though, and the energy that you bring to the table and then in our community also, I think that's just amazing. And we talked about what you loved most about Deep Eddy, but, I know you love the small-town community, but what do you think that you have taught Dripping Springs versus what Dripping Springs has taught you?
That's... Not all of this younger generation is so black and white.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
I think if anything, just anything that like we can all just exist in happiness and be okay and be,
yes.
Like we just don't have to be so
angry
and combative.
Yeah.
And, like taking the Christmas thing as a big example, like that could have gone two very different ways.
Yeah.
And I think, it was just right place, right time, myself and, my boss just kind of, being that sort of guiding light of being in the middle. And I think if anything, that's what I would hope to bring is that if you don't know what I am or who I am, then that's okay. Yeah. That's good.
Well, and like you just said, talk to people. I think that's one of the things we're doing really poorly in this country. People will go, well, that person believes, does whatever, so I'm not going to talk to them. It's like, no, you guys probably have so much common ground. It's one of the reasons Michelle and I started this podcast, because there are people out there, they get on Facebook and they say nasty things about somebody because that person wrote one sentence on Facebook. I don't know anything else about them.
Right.
When you see them as a human being, you feel a lot differently about them when you know more about them.
And you are on our 100th episode.
Yeah.
Am I really?
Yeah, you get the honor of being on our 100th episode.
Yay.
I wanted to ask you a twofold question.
Yeah.
Who is your personal hero and who is your professional mentor?
Ooh. Well, I would say so personal hero, it has to be, oh man. Can I pick
one
two?
of them? Yes, you can.
My mom and my grandma.
Oh.
Two just the hardest working people I've ever met in my life.
Look at those tears
And
welling up
between
in
the
your
two
eye.
of them,
Don't cry.
Between the two of them, they raised me, and I think did a
They did a good job.
They did a very
Eustacio.
good
They
job.
did a
Okay
good
job.
job. Yeah.
And what about your professional mentor? Like if you had to think about that.
Michelle Yansky,
Your
by
boss.
far.
Yeah.
Had she not taken me under her wing all those years ago, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, that's
just
great.
flat out.
You mentioned in your bio that you're the first person in your family to graduate from college. What do you think? What was different about you that made you go off to college? Or your situation?
My grandma and my mom.
Really?
You know, my grandma and my mom. So my extended family. At that point, I think it was 3 out of the 5 had gone.
Okay.
So of my aunts and uncles, 3 of the 5 had gone, and one of them had gone on to Harvard. So I grew up like grandma, just like Princeton, Harvard, Stanford was the only English that for sure stuck.
and being down in the valley too, you know, like trying to, there's so many charter schools down there now that the track that they have, and I think Elon Musk has done an amazing job down there in the valley trying to kind of explore their horizons. And
yeah, those charter schools, my cousins all went to charter schools. So I'm the oldest of the family. So
how many cousins? Like 47? Yeah, probably, right?
Wait, I tried to count them once, and it was a rough one.
I just gave up. Infinity.
It was definitely a rough one, but yeah, it was them two just kind of pushing me to just shoot for that kind of better life, you know.
Yeah.
Well, look, now you're a
American
mentor to
dream,
them.
so.
Yeah, you're somebody that they can look up to. Also, I can also say right now, sitting here, mom to mom. I know your mom's you're gonna make your mom listen to this, and mom, he's done an amazing job. We really, I've gotten to know you personally on several.
I've
things.
never met you before, and I've enjoyed this time with you.
That's because you don't go out to happy hour.
You gotta come.
I know.
Have a sparkling drink.
I'd have to have sparkling water, but I've been to Deep Eddy quite a few times for chamber stuff, but also for events after hours, and it's a great place.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
we
a nice
definitely
place
try
to go have any kind of party. I want to sort of lighten it up a little bit. You mentioned in your bio that you're a movie buff.
Yeah. Jeopardy has taught me anything. I love.
Do you?
I love movies. Yeah.
So what are your top 3 favorite movies?
Or genres, right?
Yeah, or genres.
Genres is probably fantasy for sure.
Okay.
Just because I kind of grew up in that world. But Lord of the Rings, just hands down.
Really? Yeah.
It is one of my favorite.
Oh, that's great.
Trilogies. Just I can quote it by heart. But then like Gone with the Wind, like I can
really
sit and watch Gone with the Wind, and you know
that was when the movies were all about the characters and the acting, not the CGI and the stunts.
Yeah,
my great uncle and grandfather did some of the rewrites of Gone with the Wind.
Really?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Famous.
Oh no.
Here, I'll sign.
So what's the third one?
12 Angry Men.
Oh,
that one is
that's an older movie.
Yeah. Fonda's in it.
Oh, okay.
And they're in just one room. And the whole movie, they're in the jury room.
The jury room.
Deliberation room.
It's a jury trying to decide, and it's is it a racial thing?
No, it's more they're convicting him of murder. I think he is a person of color.
Okay.
But I think it's less.
Henry Fonda's
in it. Yeah. But like it's just cinematically, like the camera by the end of it is like right here.
Okay.
Right here, like right in front of their faces, and they don't leave. It's hot. You can tell like they just start sweating more and more as the movie goes on, and as the kind of temperature starts to cook up, you can, again, the camera work in that movie is
1954 that movie was made.
That was right around the time you were a kid.
Shush. I was a glint in my dad's eye at that time.
There it is.
Oh, yeah, I see. Okay, yeah.
Go back and watch it. Go back and watch some of the older movies, especially now that the strike is over. But you know, all the stuff they were talking about, all the stuff's going to come out. It's just going to be crap. You know, watch some of the older good stuff.
Yeah. Have you ever watched Lawrence of Arabia?
No, it is on my list, though. It is on my list.
It's a long movie, but man, I've watched it like 6 times. I watched it with my kids. It's a great movie. It's so, the colors and the characters, it's really a good movie.
It's on my watch list. I think on HBO Max.
Is it on HBO Max?
Yeah. It's on one of my lists.
It might be. What are your top movies?
Oh, well, mine are Steel Magnolias is my all-time favorite movie.
yeah.
I can quote.
I can quote that movie.
Can we do a
word for
deep
word.
Eddy Steel Magnolia movie night?
We're getting a blow-up screen.
Let's do it.
We're doing it.
Okay.
We for real are.
Let's do it. I'm totally. And then every time Weezer comes on screen, we'll just take a shot.
Pink is my signature color.
That's when I got married. I was like, I want to look like Julia Roberts and Steel Magnolias. That's a really good movie. Older movie. Oh, let me think. I don't know. I like the campy Elvis movies, like when he was
really?
singing. I just think they're kind of funny. The cinematography, the color. But Wizard of Oz, the OG Wizard of Oz,
that's a good one.
That'll do it.
And Mary Poppins.
Huh?
Oh, Mary Poppins.
Yeah, Mary
My favorite, I got two. Mine, Gladiator is one of my favorite movies. Do you like
Oh.
Gladiator?
I do too, because you
That's a
see
good one.
Brad Pitt's butt in that one.
Brad Pitt?
That's
It's,
Troy.
Oh, that's Troy. I didn't know which one it was.
I know my butts.
What's his name from Gladiator?
Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Crowe.
Yeah. And have you seen We Were Soldiers?
No.
With Mel Gibson.
No.
It's a movie in Vietnam. This group of soldiers is dropped into this little valley, and there's a mountain behind this valley, and there's like a 5,000 enemy up there, and they're like 40 guys in this valley, and they have to keep control of this valley, and it's all about. If you watch it, you'll see.
It's not Mary Poppins. Okay.
It's not Mary Poppins.
I love a good war flick. They're good.
Yeah, there's I won't say it because it's pretty crude, but there's a line in there, and that is one of my favorite lines. I've said it to you a couple times, but maybe I'll have to put that in the social media. I can't say it.
Oh man, I gotta hear it now. Okay, I'm counting on you. I want a Steel Magnolia,
Hey,
Deep Eddy night.
You said
I
it.
am on
And I want
it.
We Were Soldiers.
we'll balance it out.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Mark Bossman, if you're listening,
Yeah.
we have a request.
Well, this has been really fun. I wasn't sure what to expect when you came in, but it's been really interesting getting to know you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for
Good
having
luck
me.
on your run for the board. When is
crossed.
the election?
The 28th. So you can vote now.
Okay.
And the last day is the 28th.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
And what position are you running for?
They're at what is it called? At large seats. So
Okay.
it's just the top three.
And is it for a board position?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, I've never thought about doing that. I don't think I'm.
Where are you
I don't
gonna?
think I'd get enough.
Where's
votes
your
anyway.
bandwidth? No, nobody likes you.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's important to know where you're standing, is in life, Michelle.
Untrue.
Oh, thank you so much for
Yes,
coming.
thank you.
Yes,
Stacey.
Thank
I
you so much for
appreciate it.
having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming in. Ready to turn your land dreams into reality? Look no further than Capital Farm Credit.
Need a loan for your perfect piece of land? Capital Farm Credit is there for you.
Their dedicated team will tailor a loan to fit your unique needs because your dreams are their priority.
Capital Farm Credit, your land, your legacy. Visit capitalfarmcredit.com or Mark Rutledge at 512-892-4425.
Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better.
Capital Farm Credit, an equal credit housing lender. Elevate your living experience with M. Elliott Studio, your trusted partner in interior design, registered and licensed by the state of Texas.
You want your home to reflect your personal style and identity. Investing in a well-crafted design doesn't just beautify your home, it enriches your life.
Team principal and owner, Montana Elliott, understands the profound impact of a thoughtfully designed space. From remodeling to full design, M. Elliott Studio is the first step to unlocking your style.
Turn your aspirations into reality. Tailored to your taste and desires, M. Elliott Studio will work to create an environment that embraces your style with style.
Your space, their expertise.
melliotstudio.com 512-781-0224.
This show has been brought to you in part by the real estate pros at the Mallet Integrity Team. When you're looking to buy or sell, you need them on your side. Why settle for less when you can have real estate done right? Give them a call at 512-829-2062 or get more info at malletintegrityteam.com.
You know you like us, so go now to Apple Podcast or Spotify and leave us a review. Why don't ya? We love your feedback and comments. Email us at malletandmichelle@gmail.com.
Thanks for putting up with us.